Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's fourth video. We're going to have a look at the weather. There's 10 to 14 days for today's fourth video. Day 10 will take us to the 13th of January. And we'll be able to extend out beyond that with the GFS and ECM ensembles. Maybe on around a couple of weeks. We'll have a look at CFS V2 for February at the end of the video. And I shall get on that for you in a moment. Just say it's a very busy day at GavsWeatherVids today. It's conveyor belt Gav. I'm knocking out one after the other update today. So we started off with 6 AM broadcast with release every Friday and episode 5 of Watch. Check out those two bits if you'd like to do that. I am live for channel members at 6 PM. So you're a channel member and you're around the channel at 6, and check out your January channel member live stream. Straight after that, I'm going to try and get Snow Watch done as well. So a manic evening. And we're scheduled to do pub run live, but I might be about ready to collapse in a heap by 10:30. So whether we do pub run live tonight or not, I don't know. So just keep an eye on the socials for that. I may leave Pub Run Live off this week because it's such a busy day. But please like, share and subscribe, and thank you so much everyone for doing that. Right, so let's get on with 10 to 14 day. Going to start off with centering temperature. So this has come down a lot from New Year's Day. We're currently sitting at 4.7. That is just 0.9 of a degree above 61 to 1990 average. That's provisional to yesterday, to the 2nd of January. Come down by about 4 degrees from the 1st to the 2nd. And I think when this updates tomorrow, we'll see that down into the 3s. And it should carry on dropping then over the next few days as well. Going to be a cold first half to January. So sorry everyone, cough back today. These are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles for the next couple of weeks. We're at Nottingham today. The red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for Nottingham. We're starting off cold average at the moment. Going to get a pickup in the upper air temperature over the weekend as an area of low pressure brings heavy rain, snow and all sorts of mayhem Saturday into Sunday. Then we're cold again next week. Most of next week looking pretty cold. In towards the middle and second half of January, we see signs of the upper air temperatures lifting up, so potentially becoming milder then. Although you'll notice the GFS midnight operation run about does tick up a little bit around the 13th of January, then starts falling away again. You'll see how that happens in a moment. Precipitation-wise, so it's dry for today and much of tomorrow, but tomorrow night and Sunday looking wet. That's a mix of rain and snow. Then going drier for a couple of days early next week, but overall looking a little bit mixed, I have to say, through the first sort of couple of weeks of January. Maybe a bit of a dry trend here into the second half of the month. How Snow Row looking for Nottingham. So we see snow spikes here associated with low pressure overnight Saturday into Sunday. And interestingly, another cluster of snow spikes appearing around the 9th of January. But it's been a suggestion that an area of low pressure could run through the channel towards the end of next week. It's, not particularly strongly forecast at the moment, but it's a possibility. So late next week could be one to watch, another low close to the channel then. Between them, both snow spikes are probably sort of wintry showers and whatnot coming down from the north. Right, okay, so let's go here. Temperature anomaly-ish on the 3rd to the 11th of January. Significantly cold now, just a big change from what we had in December. Scandinavia and Nordic regions included in that as well. But Ireland and the UK coming out colder than average. And precipitation anomalies from the 3rd to the 11th of January. So a bit drier around Western Scotland and Northern Ireland. Average or slightly above average precipitation elsewhere. Latest wind from nullschool.net shows trouble lurking in the Atlantic. That's below pressure. It's going to be bringing the rain and the snow, potentially freezing rain and ice as well, Saturday night and into Sunday. At the moment, we're still drawing down this northerly wind, establishing the cold air from the Arctic. Right, well, let's start going through the chart data then. Let's have the latest UK Met Euro run. Is looking for midnight on Monday. Low pressure clearing away to the east, bringing wind around to a cold northerly. By Tuesday, we're all back into those cold northerlies again, and then it stays cold throughout next week There's that little trough down to the south of us. Doesn't look like much on the UK Met. Probably will run into France and won't impact us, really. But I'll keep an eye on it for sort of Thursday, Friday next week anyway. But let's have a look when we get to Friday the 10th of January. Still cold under this ridge of high pressure. So next week is set to be cold throughout the week with harsh overnight frost. Icon, again, takes that low pressure way to the east for the early part of next week, brings the wind back around to the north. That will keep it cold then throughout next week. There's that little low I was talking about around the 9th of January. That's sort of going into northern France with the Icon run. But again, you know, we might be further north than that. We'll have to keep an eye on it. It might develop more as well, because it's not particularly well developed, you know, there. Anyway, we're still cold through to the end of next week, and high pressure sits down across the country, so harsh overnight frost will be the issue through the course of next week, I think. Right then, on to the KMA, and that also sees the northerly winds coming back. Now, the KMA diverts that low pressure more at the end of next week, so that's a proper channel low that the KMA has, and that would bring a significant snow event to large portions of central southern England through the middle part of next week. KMA developing that low pressure a lot more. We keep it cold up to the end of next week. Get another low zipping through there at the end of next week, bringing threats of more snow into the south as well. So generally cold for the first sort of 10, 11 days of January. But then we turn much milder for the second week of month, draining up that southwesterly wind, and sort of we go back to the pattern we had over Christmas, actually, which is a mostly dry but also potentially mild pattern, albeit there could be, you know, fog and whatnot developing under that area of high pressure. So a real seesaw winter, this, you know, very, very mild before Christmas, a lot of fog after Christmas, snow, cold weather first 10 days of January, back to those mild conditions again by the middle of January. We shall see. The KMA, you know, might be off on a tangent there. So the GFS midnight run is looking again at low pressure through the country. Monday clears away by Tuesday. We're back into those northerly winds then most of next week. The low pressure is across France on Thursday. Doesn't really impact us, but we need to keep an eye on it. Then into the last stage of next week, mostly dry. High pressure over country, probably some harsh overnight frost under that area of high pressure, and we start to bring the wind around to more of a northeasterly when we get toward day 10. In the extended, the high pressure goes back up to Greenland, so we keep it cold and frosty under that area of high pressure, never really turns milder, then starts turning even colder again around the middle part of January. We actually bring down my 10 Celsius ice firm there, especially into the north and the east. So it suggests a very cold first half of January, and that carries on even into the second half of the month on the GFS midnight run, looking generally cold and wintry right way up to the 19th of January. Remember, on the ensemble graph, let's quickly go back to it. On the ensemble graph of the midnight run, it wasn't exactly an outlier, but it was like in the extended, it was one of the colder options, and definitely the colder end of the range. So not a great deal of support for the cold weather to carry on for the next 2 weeks like that. GFS midnight run has it doing so. Right, GFS 6Z, same idea for Monday, taking the low pressure way to the east, bring wind back round to the north, staying cold then throughout next week. This next lows down towards Biscay in France, doesn't bring any significant snow to England or Wales, but we know some of the ensemble members must be having that area of low pressure further north, so we do need to keep a bit of an eye on that. And then high pressure is through Western Europe into the end of next week, keeping it calm and frosty. Change next weekend, 11th, 12th of January, as the high pressure slips southwards, we start to bring back up a milder southwesterly wind. So turning milder by around day 10, and then high pressure just takes over in the extended, and I reckon that probably bring a lot of fog with it, as that high pressure generally sits to the east but ridges in to the west of Europe. That suggests, I think, a lot of fog potentially, so probably not overly mild. Right, well, if you enjoyed the video, please like, share, and subscribe. And show everyone for doing that. Why not drop a comment? Let's know what you think about this and all of our videos and content. Don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids. Get them to subscribe too. Thanks so much, everyone, for doing that. We've gone past 19.3k. Can you believe it? We're now on the grind to 19.4k. Please help get us to 19,400 subscribers. Thank you so much, everyone, for doing that. Absolutely epic. Right, GM, taking that low pressure away to the east with its rain and snow for the early part of next week. Then we're back into those cold northerly winds through the middle of next week. Low pressure threatening to the south at the end of next week, but generally keeping high pressure dry but cold to the end of next week. Into next weekend, similar to the GFS 6 said, change starts to take place with milder air into the north and west, but the south and east probably still cold and frosty up to day 10, with that area of high pressure centred over Germany and Poland. So that's milder for the north and the west, but for the south and the east could be cold and frosty with an increasing risk of fog. And then the ECM rounds it all off, takes the low pressure away to the east early next week, winds back in to the north, keeping it cold with winds in from the north throughout next week. To the end of next week, high pressure still there, keeping cold conditions going. And that gets us to day 10. Never turns mild in the south up to day 10. So it's still cold and frosty there. Scotland and Ireland again starting to pull up something a bit milder from off the Atlantic. And the high pressure sort of centred over top of the country up to the middle of January with the ECM, suggesting increasing risk of dense fog and frost. Where we will go beyond that with that area of high pressure remains to be seen. This is a precipitation forecast based on that ECM run from temesture.com. So in comes all of this rain and snow tomorrow evening and tomorrow night. Major snow event for parts of Ireland, Northern England, the Midlands, and into parts of Eastern England as well. Rain down south, southwest. Watch out for the risk of freezing rain as well for time in the south and the southwest. Sunday sees the snow really through Northern England, southern Scotland, and Northern Ireland. Rain further southwards. And then all of that wet weather clearing away through the early part of next week, back into those snow showers, and then the trend maybe something a little bit drier as we head towards day 10 and high pressure takes over. These are the options on the table within the ECM ensembles today for day 10. The Icelandic Met Office gets us to the 13th of January. 18 members of the ECM ensembles with high pressure over the country, so mostly dry with an increasing risk of fog, especially southward for 14. Again, high pressure centering through the country. 11, high pressure a bit further northwards, and maybe a rather colder easterly flow with that, and 8, perhaps a Scandinavian high with an easterly flow as well. Most of the options involve high pressure at day 10, and the exact position of the high will determine what weather type we get, of course. And then in 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we got. It'll get us to the 18th of January. 12 members of the ECM ensembles with high pressure right over top of the country. 9 looks like they're trying to ridge or retrograde the high pressure back up towards Greenland and Iceland, and maybe start to pull in a colder northeasterly again. Another 9 with a Scandinavian high and low pressure to our south and west. That could be drawing up a mild southerly flow. But a bit of a battleground UK type situation with that. 8 with high pressure between Iceland and Scandinavia, so that will bring the wind in from the east. We've got 7 with high pressure over France, low pressure over Scotland. That looks mild, winds from west. And then we've got 6 with high pressure to the north and the northwest. And again, that probably mostly dry, but could be quite cold. So at both day 10 and day 14, it's all high pressure, high pressure, high pressure. The only issue is where the high pressure is sitting. If it's to the south of us, will be generally mild. If it's over us, could be quite cold with frost and fog. If it's to the north of us, then, we're going to be off and running into another spell of cold weather. So it remains to be seen what's going to happen with that. We'll keep you updated. CFS V2 for February. 700 millibar high time looks like this. Remember, these charts change daily. Today's idea has low pressure in the North Atlantic up towards Greenland, Iceland, high pressure down towards Spain, and winds coming from the southwest. That'll be an unsettled but also very mild February, significantly above average temperatures with an early spring, but also very wet, especially so just to our west and northwest. Finally, just want to talk about tomorrow night's situation in terms of snow. So an amber warning has now been issued for large portions of England for snow and ice. We've got a amber snow warning there for much of central Britain up into northern England, and we also have an amber warning for snow and ice covering much of Wales and into the Midlands as well. Snow and freezing rain there would likely lead to disruption, transport and some services. Both those ones I think extend out till midday on Sunday. Oh, could be looking at quite a significant spell of disruptive weather here through parts of England and Wales on Saturday night, and then pushing further northwards on Sunday. This morning's UKV will just end with this. So going to be a lot of dry weather to come until the end of tomorrow, and then we get wet weather coming to southwest, rain, sleet and snow, South Wales and southwestern England. Remember, some of that rain could be freezing rain, and then snow becoming increasingly heavy and widespread across a large portion of England and Wales. Overnight Saturday, that's 2 a.m. Sunday morning, staying heavily through Wales and Midlands, even over to East Anglia, pushing up towards Lincolnshire as well. The snow on for much of the night, for much of Wales and the Midlands, and up to southern parts of northern England as well. And then we get through into Sunday morning, and the snow is for sort of northern England, southeast Scotland. It is struggling now with UKV anyway to get the snow up to southern parts of Scotland. So I think this is low pressure trend a bit further southwards. Although we do still have a big mild section, the south and southeast, in terms of snow back to that show the temperature for this. So, of course, very cold to start Saturday. And Saturday will be a cold day. The maximum temperature will only be about 2 or 3 degrees, I think. And then on into the evening, well, you see the mild air trying to get in from the southwest, but it really is struggling. That's 7 a.m. Sunday. It's only the far southwest along the south coast that's turned milder in most areas. Still seeing the temperature hovering around or below freezing. Very cold night across Scotland with a severe frost there. You'll notice the milder temperatures do push northward, but it's a real struggle. Though they're just about getting in a line from the Wash down to the Severn Estuary. Anywhere south of that, we're like 10, 11, 12 degrees, but just a little way to northwest, still struggling to get above freezing. That low pressure has trended southwards with this morning's UKV. If it trends any further southwards, then we really will restrict those mild temperatures just to the far south and southeast. So, but this evening's update from UKB will be quite interesting. And then we're back into those cold conditions anyway for next week, with some more really quite harsh overnight frost and cold daytime temperatures to come. Right, anyway, we'll have a look at that with Snow Watch. I'm going to do after channel member live stream. So I'll live with channel members at 6 p.m. If you are a channel member, check into January channel member live stream if you're around the channel. After that, I will try and get Snow Watch done. Be a little bit later than last night's Snow Watch, probably about 7:30, something like that, 7:45 maybe. I'll definitely try to get Snow Watch, uploaded though, this evening after I finish a channel member live stream. And I say whether we do pub run live, I'm not sure. I'll probably be ready to collapse in a heap by 10:30 tonight. But I'll let everybody know later on. Tomorrow, I'm going to have 6 a.m. UK weather forecast, the each F42 day forecast. What will be, I think, a very interesting weekend forecast, and there'll be a 10 to 14 day as well. Keep checking back to the channel for more. But for this one, that's all for now. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again with more very soon. Bye for now.